again with another video. As you can tell from my title, it is time for me to tell my story. I touched, like I said, the reason why I started YouTube was solely just to be my authentic self. You know, I really wanted to like tell my story and help other people, because let me tell you, I have been through so much stuff, like so much stuff, and I'm super proud to be sitting here and, like, you know, being able to even, you know, being able to just share with you guys like the growth and all the things that I have been through. So I'm gonna just start from the beginning. Just give you guys a snippet of like my background or whatever the case may be. I grew up in the South. I grew up in Georgia. I am a child of 4. I grew up in a household with my mom and my 3 siblings, because my mom had 3 kids, so it was me, 4 kids. So it was me, my sister, and my 2 brothers. We grew up, I should say we grew up in, it wasn't a great childhood or whatever. And I'm just gonna be honest, like my mom, she tried her best, she worked 2 jobs, but like I said, we grew up in poverty. Like we grew up seeing things and not being like in a like really good environment, neighborhood wise or anything. Yeah, that's that on that. And also, like I said, our grandmother, she was a alcoholic, so we dealt with a lot of like trauma. Like I remember us getting up in the middle of the night, she would get yelling, cursing, like, you know. And like I said, I know some of my family members watch my videos and I might touch bases and they might feel a certain type way, but this is my story and I'm going to tell it. So, you know, she grew up, you know, she wasn't like, she was alcoholic, so, you know, she said stuff, she cursed us out, and it was just like, we was verbally like abused and stuff like that. So that really kind of like molded me into like I became. But yeah, fast forward, you know, I just want to give you guys like a little like backstory on how I was raised. So that's just, you know, my childhood. And like I said, I'm not gonna take anything away from my mom, but like she just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know she like tried to make sure that we was, you know, in a house, but it just wasn't the best. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how I am. That's why I'm the way I am with my kids. I just try to provide for them and try to show them differently how I was, like, because I wasn't raised up in a like a loving environment with my mom telling me like she loved me or like anything like that. So I began looking for it in like in all the wrong places or whatever. So I'm just gonna hop into like the second part of like what molded me. Fast forward up a little bit. I was molested multiple times. I was molested by a family friend for years. I was molested by a cousin when I was younger, also by a teacher. So that kind of like really was a dagger that kind of like really like mold me into like not really caring about like having like a relationship with a dude, because I felt like I was violated so many times. So I felt like, you know, a man is not going to take advantage of me a lot or whatever. So that kind of messed up everything as far as me like being in like a relationship or anything like that. I got pregnant when I was 16. Well, yeah, I was 16 or whatever. And when I got pregnant, like still in my mind I wasn't in like the right kind of mindset to like be a mom and stuff like that. Even like the relationship with like my child's father or whatever, like I really didn't care, because like I was violated so many times or whatever, where I felt like you know, like if someone, like a dude do something to me, like I cut them off. Like I did not know anything, because my mind, I felt like I was damaged goods. You get what I'm saying? Like, because like I was violated, so I just didn't want anyone to violate me like that anymore. So I took it upon myself to be closed-minded and, like, you know, have these relationships, and if something was to happen, I just, you know, cut them off. So because I never knew what a healthy relationship was, because I never saw it in my childhood, and then being molested and stuff like that. So that led to me like having kids with people who, you know what I'm saying, like I wasn't building anything with, and that was a bad characteristics or whatever. Like that's one of my biggest regrets ever, because I never ever wanted my life to be like I didn't have like a good foundation for my kids or whatever. I never sought out to be a single mom. I never sought out to do that, but all my decisions led me to this or whatever. So that was like I said, from middle school until like, you know, high school when I got pregnant. I mean, ninth grade when I got pregnant and stuff, you know. And in those years or whatever, it was trial, tribulation. I was going through multiple things. You know, I wasn't being like the best mom that I could be, because of like I wasn't ready to be a mom. I had so much trauma and stuff like that, where I was just acting out, doing crazy things, because I just was hurting so bad. I was just hurting so bad and stuff. So had my first child like 16, and then like I said, had my son, I think it was like 19 or 20, my oldest son. And you know, I was working and, you know, trying to take care of the kids and stuff, but still battling other stuff and not really being the best mom I could be. So just fast forward that, I had my other son, Cameron. I was working at Walmart and stuff like that, but and still relationship wise I was struggling, like, because I would get in a relationship and, you know, like I said, someone do something and I would just like, you know, break up, or it wasn't like I just wasn't a good person. So I was having these kids and not like really being responsible and stuff like that. So I remember meeting my daughter's dad, and it was some form of like a relationship, because that was like the first person, like that was the only person like I ever like stayed with or anything like that. We tried like build stuff, but it was still like I was still like struggling with it too, and getting into these relationships, or getting into these situations, because I wouldn't even call them relationships, getting into these situations, and not really knowing the foundation of a relationship, or still having like all this trauma and stuff. I could honestly look back and say, what were you doing? Like, girl, what was you doing? Like, you wasn't ready for anything. You wasn't ready for kids. You wasn't ready for anything. Getting into a relationship with somebody who was doing like, he was a good person. I'm not saying he was a bad person, because he wasn't. He took care of the kids that he had, but you know, he was doing like illegal stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like illegal stuff, like, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that. So I was putting myself in that position, I mean situation, and I was with my daughter's dad when he was murdered in front of me or whatever. So that was another trauma to me, like having to watch someone you know, you care about die, and at the time I didn't even know I was pregnant or whatever. So that was just like another dagger to me, like watching someone die in front of you. That would mess you up. I never went to therapy for or anything like that, and that was kind of hard. Like, it was super hard, because I felt like I didn't have like that was an instance where I kind of like really needed my mom and she wasn't there. like I'm glad I was able to have like friends and stuff like that, but wholeheartedly I just felt like I needed my mom at that point or whatever, when my child's father was murdered, because like I said, it was a lot went into that whole situation. And so a few months later after that, I ended up finding out like I was pregnant, and that was the scariest thing ever, because now I'm pregnant, like the father, you know, died or whatever, so now I have to raise this baby by myself, have other kids, and I had so much like pressure on me or whatever. I like literally I cried the whole entire pregnancy, because I just was just thinking about everything. And I really praise my cousin, because my cousin, she really was there for me when that situation happened. I was so broken. I was just so like in trauma, in shock still. So imagine being in shock, like you watching someone die, and then you have to carry like their baby in. It just was a lot. So that whole pregnancy, it just was like really bad, like really bad. And then had my daughter or whatever, and you know, everything was cool. Had her that my delivery was cool, fine, like everything went cool. A day later, I go I end up in ICU, can't walk, can't function or anything like that. This was like the breaking point for me, because I'm like, what else can go wrong in my life? Like, what else? Now this. And I was just like, I remember like waking up, and I remember first, I remember like being in a room with my daughter, and she was in a basket, and then imagine like waking up and you're in ICU. Like you're in ICU, you don't know your baby, you can't walk. They telling you, they telling you they don't even know what's wrong with you. They're like, what is wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? What is wrong with me? Like none of the doctors can figure out why I can't walk. I have like a catheter in. Like it was just a mystery. I wasn't even able to take like London home from the hospital or whatever, because like I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. So I had to trust like my best friend at the time. I had to trust her to take my baby home, because I wasn't able even to take her home. Mind now, I have other kids, so I have to worry about them, and you know, it just was a lot going on. I remember I was in the hospital for I think a good it might have been like a month after, because I had to go to like rehab. I had to learn how to walk again. So you know, I am grateful that, like I said, I was able to run across like a good amount of people in my life, friends wise, and you know, to be able to help me, you know, get through that situation. Because that situation, like, it was super hard or whatever. And after that, like I said, I got out of the hospital. I ended up staying like with my my best friend at the time, just to like get on my feet and stuff like that. And it was crazy. It was crazy. And then after that, you know, couple years passed, everything I was maintaining, I was able to, you know, get back and you know, start back working, and I gained back, like, you know, luckily through the trauma of me like having a, because I didn't tell you guys, but I had like allergic reaction to the epidural. That's why I ended up in ICU. But after that, a few years passed. Like I just was like, you know, still struggling with a couple things, as far as like just, you know, trying to maintain, like, you know, the kids, and you know, like still trying to have some form of like a relationship with a person, but not really. I never really could have like a genuine relationship with somebody, because I was broken inside, and I was like just doing stupid stuff because I was broken and didn't couldn't heal from the trauma or whatever, from all this stuff. Not making an excuse, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you, I was broken or whatever. So fast forward, you know, I was still making like bad decisions for as like dudes and stuff like that, and that's where my last son come in the picture. You know, and I don't regret any of my kids. I just think I should have waited. You know, I just should have waited. But like I said, I didn't know any better. I did not know any better, because I was just really searching for love and just like searching to feel safe or whatever. So that, you know, I had my son, met his dad or whatever, and it was cool. And then like I found out like he had a whole girlfriend, and they were just crazy. So I just opted to like do things by myself, have my baby by myself. But I can say, you know, luckily, my last son, his grandmother is like everything. I'm not gonna take anything from his dad either, because he does his part too, but majority, like my younger son lives with, you know, his grandmother or whatever. Anytime I want to see him, anytime I want to get him, she, you know, because at that time I was like, the reason why he ended up with her, because like I just was going through a lot. I was like, my depression was on a 10. Like when I say a 10. And I am grateful that I came across people in my life, women who was super honest with me or whatever, and helped me through certain situations and stuff. So I'm super happy for that or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so I'm super happy that, you know, I had women in my life, my baby, my kids, grandmother and grandparents, you know, were great or whatever. But even still now, guys, I still deal with like depression and stuff or whatever. But I'm super happy to be able to not be how I was like years ago, where it affected me to like, even like 2-3 years ago, I would like get out of bed. I wouldn't even want to get out of bed from all like this. I just think about every single thing or whatever. And I hope like me telling you guys everything and telling you guys my story or whatever, that it really helps someone know like you're not alone. You're not alone, because it's someone right now that's feeling like, oh, I'm alone. I done had all this trauma in my life, like no one loves me, I'm by myself, I can't do it anymore. And I'm here to tell you, like, you can. All the stuff I'm telling you guys, all the stuff that I've been through or whatever, and if I was able to still survive and still be able to you know, keep going. Don't get me wrong, I have my struggles. I still to this day have things that I have to do, I have to get better with, but I'm just want to tell you guys, like, no matter what you have been through in your life, you still have the ability to change. You still have the ability to overcome it. And like in our Black community, we don't really talk about like depression and stuff like that, because I'm glad that I'm seeing more people talk about it or whatever the case may be. But I feel like we have to really, you know, come together and really move forward and keep the conversation going. But truly, guys, I just really wanted to tell you guys my story, and let you guys know who I am and how I survived certain things that I thought I would never be able to survive or whatever. And I'm trying, and every day I'm trying to be a better person. I have my struggles, and I'm going to continue to fight through them. Long as I put my best effort forward and believe that I can turn this thing around, that's exactly what I want to do. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you guys in my next video, and I really do hope this video will help someone.